One of the most consistent challenges of our work with clients is the focus on strategic stakeholder engagement, ensuring that the most important internal clients understand, value, and can truly tap into your expertise as information leaders. Today, I want to share the story of one client who's made some pretty remarkable progress in this area over the last 6 months, and I think many of her challenges and how she's overcome them will sound familiar to many of you. So this particular client is a mid-sized investment firm, and the head of the information service came to Jinfo because she needed to undertake a process by which she could really take control of information strategy and partner better with the stakeholders within the firm. These were some of the things that she came to us and felt that were her primary challenges. The first was they were the best kept secret in the firm. And we hear this from a lot of teams where they do good work, they keep their heads down, they get the stuff done, but they don't tend to talk about their successes, or at least not in a way that stakeholders seem to understand and remember the next time they need to have some type of engagement with them. The second is that they really struggled as a team with this sense that they didn't want to, quote, bother those senior stakeholders. So there was a real personal piece there about the team itself feeling like outreach to stakeholders might be an intrusion or might be interrupting more important work. And really a lot of this came down to one of the third challenges, which was comfort zone. This team is extremely skilled. They've been in their jobs for a very long time. They know how to do those jobs extremely well. And the idea of entering a different type of relationship with stakeholders and really taking the helm of those relationships meant that they were going to have to step out of their comfort zone. So there are a number of things that we did with them as part of this project on stakeholder engagement. And some of the principles that we applied with them apply to just about any other. If you're facing an issue with stakeholder engagement, these will be helpful to you. So the first of these is to know your audience. We took them through an exercise of stakeholder mapping and also extracting from their own heads what they already knew about a lot of these stakeholders. So really getting it down on paper so they could think about it and be strategic about, okay, how are we going to go about these relationships? The second was to craft the messaging. So we spent a lot of time helping them analyze how do we talk about the value of information and of information expertise in terms that these stakeholders were going to understand. And then even more tactically, when they went to do emails to connect with stakeholders and say, we want to have this conversation with you, Jinfo analysts did a peer review of those emails and provided additional feedback and helped them craft that message so that whatever landed in the inbox from the subject line all the way down to the signature was going to be really targeted to something that would attract that attention and help the stakeholder understand how important this was. We also helped them develop a process of managing what we call the client list. And this is a way of just keeping track of these senior stakeholders as their primary, quote, accounts within the business and planning strategically how they were going to go about reaching these particular people and doing that over a period of time. And then finally, we encouraged them to work on measuring their results. And one of their key measurements that came out of this process of initial engagement was that they had a 90% response rate on the first outreach. And once they started talking to people, they found that others were coming to them and saying, we want to talk to you as well. So it was a really big success, and it was a measurable success in a number of different ways. If stakeholder engagement is an area that you want to focus on in 2022, then I encourage you to consider working with Jinfo and with other Jinfo clients. We have a number of how-to articles and webinars, case studies that you can tap into, as well as community discussions where you can work with other information leaders on how they're tackling some of these challenges and some of the successes that they're having. We also work intense with Jinfo clients for strategic stakeholder engagement in a number of ways. If that's something you'd like to explore, please go to our site at www.jinfo.com and click on Become a Client. I look forward to working with you.